The Diary of a Certified Psychopath. Off the crank. Reparations and ruminations. Abide by the softly sorrowful approach was the evocative and mildly self-pitying paraphrase that fluttered across my mind, perhaps prompted by several piercing perk-up calls from the feathered Philharmonic's chirpy percussionists as I pedalled reposefully towards an unsettled horizon adorned with rain-bearing bales of cumulus hay that rolled in regular intervals across the radiant visage of Earth's stellar luminary, robbing thin-skinned mortals of the tangible high teens so boldly projected by our omnipotent climate prophets. This arbitrary slice of cyclical domesticity occurred shortly after my prized steed suffered an unpiloted tumble whilst in tranquil recline against its stable wall, where one freakish body blow from a northerly Beaufort botherer had caused it to topple sideways, whilst my lifelong maternal business partner was reading the heartfelt core message from a promotional leaflet personally delivered by our new local Tory MP. Having hastily set my gravel-reared thoroughbred to his vertical rights, I surveyed his supple physique for the slightest imperfection, with the kind of forensic obsessiveness that only one who has been possessed by possessions could conceive. With negligible signs of damage to either the wheel rims, front forks, or literally priceless discontinued frame, and only a tiny scratch visible upon close inspection of the ever-vulnerable rear derailleur, I concluded with elated relief that its flared drop bars and protruding pedals had absorbed nearly all of the impact. One minor scuff on the right pedal's axle, 2 tiny chips on its crank arm, and a superficial rash on the right brake lever were soon adequately disguised by a careful combination of dirt-dispersing WD-40, G3 paste to buff out the lightest marks or camouflage them against their anodized and powder-coated backdrops, and a dab or two of automotive paint, applied with a nail polish brush to seamlessly touch up or fill in any indelible gouges. The casually clad cruise into town that followed this unanticipated episode of superficial maintenance was to procure a pack of DMR-compatible flip pedal pins for my recently purchased pair of X-Power flats. My sole port of call was the High Street's most prominent dealer in mainstream bike brands, justly famous for peddling mass-produced, pre-built bone shakers to budget-conscious customers in search of practical solutions, together with a comprehensive range of all the common components, tools and accessories required to keep them in reliable service. "I don't deal in pedal pins because I ride clipless," declared the preoccupied assistant with an air of smugness that suggested they expected I would then inquire what clipless was and endure an extensive lecture on the contested merits of the very concept that I've made it my primary cause to resist since taking up cycling as a serious hobby. Perhaps I could have tempered their passive-aggressive attitude and provoked one of humble interest by divulging that the garish green appendages bolted to my magic carpet, which might well have led them to draw false conclusions through their cosmetic divisiveness, did in fact contain the world's first platform-integrated power meter. Had this not placed us on a similar wavelength, I could then have informed them that my first affordable road machine had been acquired exactly 10 years ago from their now closed branch at Hove's Goldstone Business Park. Regardless, at least now I know my fruitless endeavours were recorded with militant accuracy by a proven combination of cutting-edge technology and precision German engineering, and not cruelly cast aside as a result of Strava's innate algorithmic obliviousness to elemental resistance.